Welcome back. Today is National Weather Observers Day, so we're going to be talking to one of our own, talking with Madeline about what it's like to be a weather observer. We can't call you a meteorologist quite yet because you are still in the process of going through all of that. We'll get to that here in a second. But let's talk a little bit about what does it take to prepare the weather each and every morning or day, whatever schedule you're on.
So basically, my job kind of starts before I even come into the office. So it's like, okay, is there going to be any severe weather? What time do I need to get into the office? So, but mostly it's whenever I'm at home, I'm like, okay, let's take a look at what's going on. I'm going to take a look at usually my phone, just be like, hey, what's going on here? But then when I come in, whole new ball game. It's going to be looking at models, going to be looking at guidance from the National Weather Service, and try to see what kind of pieces of the puzzle I need to put together to make a forecast that everybody watches every day.
Right, and so does it take a while to come up with that forecast? I couldn't imagine trying to figure that out. So is it a process, or is it something that just over time you kind of start to get used to?
Well, I'm still getting used to it, but there are days that are harder than others, so it just kind of depends. The weather is very complicated. We're basically predicting the future every day, so some days it's a little bit easier if it's like, oh, it's going to be sunny and 65 every single day this week. That takes very little time, but if it's like, oh, there might be some severe weather, we have to figure out how strong is it going to be? Is it going to be a big storm? Is it going to be raining? Where is it going to be raining? So it just kind of depends on what the atmosphere is telling us for that day, and that can all change at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, I could imagine you guys are constantly looking at the weather, especially when you're here on the clock, and if it's an active weather day, you guys have to have eyes to the sky all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
And you know, people are relying on you guys to get that information out in case of anything severe so that they can shelter or, you know, do whatever they need to do to protect their family, their home, whatever it may be. So you guys have such an incredible job. And so, kind of switching gears a little bit, you're new to KFVS, and we are so appreciative to have you here. So tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, why did you get into meteorology, and you know, where'd you get started?
So it's actually really funny. So I'm gonna make a really big claim here. Whenever I was in high school and I was going to school, I hated the weather.
Really?
I was like, this is so boring. I don't understand why people like to do this. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I decided to go to school for actually journalism. And I joined my college's student program, and I auditioned to be a news anchor. And they're like, hey, we don't have any spots for news anchors right now, but we have a weather position open. And I said, oh, that doesn't sound good. I don't know, is there anything else? Like, well, you can either be a weather person or you can wait till next semester. And I'm like, well, I might as well just give it a try, because you know, always be open to new opportunities when they're presented. And I loved it. I was like, wow, this is so much fun. But the problem was, I went to a school that didn't have a meteorology program. So my junior year of school, I was like, I need to figure out a way to make this my job as opposed to being a reporter. So my senior year, I applied to Mississippi State University, where I am currently enrolled at, and I went to that program. I've been doing it for the last 3 years. I actually graduate in August. Very excited about that. But yeah, and that's how we got here. I'm very excited to be here.
That is awesome. And I could imagine you probably, back in high school, you never expected to be here in this position.
Absolutely not. Like, this is a very strange turn of events that everything is taken, because I can specifically remember my parents turning on the news in the morning. I was like so obsessed with watching the stories, and then the weather would come on. I'd immediately check out. I was like, oh, this is so boring.
And now look at you. Well, we are so fortunate to have you here at KFVS. You have been just a joy. We've only worked together, it's Thursday, so 4 days now?
4 days, yes.
So we are just getting to know each other as you guys are getting to know Madeline as well. But we appreciate you, and we wanted to talk about you on this National Weather Observers Day, because this day is about you. You are the people you're the person that does the weather and shows us what we can expect. So stay tuned. Madeline will have her forecast for you coming up in a little bit. We'll be right back.